Welcome to the 2016 edition of the Directors Event.
Today is a small exercise in nation building, and let's get an honest, open narrative going.
What we've done is we've taken the salient points from the different pillars, the different panel discussions, and then we have gone to a range of experts and we've said, well, how did we perform as far as that is concerned?
Finding our way onto the right road again, I have made these few suggestions for improving our country's economic health. There are countless others, and they are all doable. None of this is rocket science.
One important message of the Global Competitiveness Report that we will also discuss today is the importance of leveraging the human factor to leverage talent.
I just seem to observe wherever I go, the same pitch top competitions. People walk into a room, pitch to a panel, get into a program, get into an incubation, get a bit of money, and something happens. And there's probably, 500 of those. Can't we just come up with one mega one?
I find that people talk gleefully about innovation. We want innovation. What they actually mean is we want the positive outcomes of innovation. They don't want the risk, the pain, and all the corpses of the thousands of attempts that it took to get there in the first place.
Our role as provincial government in areas where we can't implement or assist is to lobby the national government with you.
It's about creative destruction. It's about dealing in that realm of uncertainty.
Let's stop hoarding entrepreneurs. Let's expose them to everything that exists. But I think it's also, let's be open to saying, let's coordinate the space. Let's create or identify the value chain.
South Africa's on a mediocre path. The entrepreneurship ecosystem is on a mediocre path. That's because of us. So let's just stop being mediocre and raise the game.
People are dying. Their constitutional rights are being abused as they emerge from the womb.
The health system itself in South Africa is ailing because of policy directions that were implemented at some stage.
We're a GP-centric nation. That's wrong.
We need to change that. And one of the things that we're doing in the work streams is to create the NHI fund.
We need the private sector and the public sector needs to get together to address these issues together.
The very important thing for me is sustainability. I mean, everybody is just talking sustainability, but what is it really? For me, you will say it's money, but for me, sustainability is really the passion of people.
This is a story about people, and more specifically about the young people in this country, their experiences right now.
Transformation seeks to say, okay, here we've got a not so great system, let's see how we can maneuver and make it work. As opposed to decolonization that says this entire system is problematic. What we need to do is go back to the drawing board and start again.
Every child matters, no child left behind, and that has to include disability. And children who are poor and disabled are the most vulnerable in our country.
What we need, therefore, is for all South Africans to understand it's not only a child that matters. All our children matters.
We need to educate our children to be able to take up jobs in the economy. And when you look at the scarce skills list that's put out by the Department of Home Affairs, we are not creating the skills that is needed by the economy.
Nothing can take priority and leave the other pieces behind.
We need to develop a quality of education that give young people skills that make them adaptable, thinkers who are able to move with the changing economy.
What about South Africa's African competitiveness? Do we not need to get our house in order and take our position as the rightful powerhouse on the African continent so that we can clearly compete on the global stage?
If you were elected president in the next hour, faced with all of this that we're faced with, what is the first thing you would change?
Child visa requirements that were introduced not so long ago, and I would also significantly relax the business traveler visa requirements.
If we had a business that was running at a deficit every year, we would close down very, very soon. If we had increased borrowings, we would close down very, very soon. So I'd employ a turnaround strategy, put the right people in the right positions, people qualified for the job, mix up a lot of the people that are in the public sector with private sector specialists, and really run this country like a business, because that's the way to do it.
Our programs are not agile enough to respond. Even if we identify a block, we are not able to move that block fast enough for us then to enjoy the having identified that block. So we need to have programs that are sort of you are able to to make a decision at the time to say, this is not working, let me move another direction. Now it's working, let me focus on that. Our programs are not agile enough.
I get to speak to people on the ground, and what interests me is social policies. Not unintelligent vote-buying social policies like the social grant system that we have in this country, which is all the ANC sells at its rallies in the rural areas of this country. I'm talking about real social policies. I'm talking about dismantling the structural racism, structural inequality that still exists in this country.
One single thing I would do that's going to affect all of the 12 pillars is to start the dialogue. To start the dialogue between the government, talk to business, talk to civil society, bring in the labor unions, because you need this joint vision in order to survive electorates and carry the policies over in the longer term. So start talking.
We're ending at a note where we know we can become globally competitive because we have everything. We've got it here. We just need the right kind of leadership and ideas to take us forward.
I'd say the past decade or more, there's always been this government on one side and business on the other end, and us, the media, on one spectrum. So we haven't been doing enough of this engagement about the future prospects of this country.
We've taken Top 100 Companies, which is a very successful awards evening, basically awarding top achieving businesses on their results in South Africa. And we've extended that brand now to exactly things like this.
Over the past few months, there's been some very good discussions between business and government and civil society. And today just makes an additional contributions to that national narrative.
Dialogue today is important because we get out of our comfort zones to discuss the crucial issues that we usually shy behind.
We do not have enough of these forums at all levels, and that is the difficulty. A forum today is very focused, but it's not enough.